everyone, this is Linda. I'm a demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Here in Australia, and today we're making this cute copper and black combo card with the Magnolia embossing folder, and it's lovely. I hope you really enjoyed this card today. So today we're making another card with our gorgeous Magnolia embossing folder. The card I've made here today, I hope you can see how shiny that is. It's really pretty, and I have used just a couple of really basic simple things. But first I wanted to show you how to use the folder, so let's get straight to that. Okay, this is new in our latest annual catalogue. We have a whole bunch of new 3D folders, and I need to quickly tell you about them because there is a change in our new 3D folders. We have a new manufacturer for them now, and so the folders are actually a slightly different thickness to the old ones. They're a little less thick. So now we need a different platform to go through with the 3D folders. So your regular embossing folders will go through exactly the same as they always have. However, the 3D ones do need this 3D embossing plate. It's a blue plate, and it's really, really easy to use. The sandwich for that, going through your die cutting machine, is you'll have your platform, whichever base platform you have. If you have the old style with the hinge, you make sure that the hinge is completely open. And then on top of that goes your embossing folder and your piece of paper. Goes right inside. Pop it in. I always go hinge first. So I'm just pretending, so we're just putting a little bit of paper in there, doesn't matter how. We'll put that through, and then on top, with nothing else, is just the blue plate. That makes it perfect. It goes through just like that. And here's a little tip. If anyone had the embossing mats, the old embossing mats with the floppy mats for getting your framelits to emboss, that is no longer available, but if you have one, the white plate with that will do this as well. So that's just a little tip for you, for those of you who have the embossing mat. Okay, so I've already pre-embossed this, as you can see. Just got a little bit of fluff on it there from the inside of the folder, and I've already got my beautiful embossing straight onto my piece of black cardstock. This is just basic black. And what I'm going to be doing is using our gorgeous new Delicata ink. Now these are available from September 4, that's tomorrow here in Australia. But if you're watching this at a later date, you can get it once September 4 is passed. And it comes in 3 colours, copper, silver and gold. And this is the copper that I'm using today, but you could also do this technique with the gold as well. I'm using a sponge dauber, just a dauber that you see I've already used for this exact same colour previously, but just any clean sponge dauber or one you've used before for copper. I'm going to pick up some ink straight from the ink pad. I'm just going to kind of run it off here onto the mat, only because I want to get rid of any really, like if there's excess sitting on the end there, I'd like to get rid of that. But I don't have to do it very much because I'm going to start in the middle of the flowers, and I'm going to go straight up and down. So don't turn your dauber to the side, and just do like a circle-y pressure, very light pressure, over the top of the center of your flowers. Okay, and you can see it picks up on all the little ridges and detail that's on those. And now that I've got rid of a little bit there in the middle, I can start to very, very lightly, and I do mean really lightly, come over here and go over the edges of my flowers. Now a little bit is going to probably end up on your petals, and that's okay because that's going to colour it in a little. And I'm going to move from one petal to the next, and as you can see, it starts to pick up a very light amount of colour. So I'm going to go back in, get rid of any excess, and I'm just going to very lightly, still straight up and down, go over the ridges. So you can see how quickly this comes together. I'm going to make sure I do all of it, including the leaves. There's a couple of leaves here which are a little more lightly embossed, and I'm going to go off onto those as well. And I'm going to speed up the camera, and I'm just going to do the whole thing so you can see how quickly it comes together. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I like the way it's coming together. Whoops, I missed a leaf down here. So let me just add a little bit more colour there. Just a little bit. Okay, now if you need to sharpen up the edges at all, I have got a blend pen here. Just looking to see which end I'd like to use. And I'm going to grab a little bit of Memento ink and just tidy up a couple of these edges a little bit. Okay, so this is just to tidy up these edges. But they're not too bad actually. As long as you go lightly and let your edges kind of fade in, it should, for the most part, look pretty good. And don't worry if there's a little bit of outside the lines going on, because it can actually make the edges look soft and pretty. So yeah, it's quite a vintage look anyway. It doesn't have to be completely perfect. But I'm just sort of tidying it up a little bit. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I did have another option, which is one of our journaling pens, and you can sort of tidy up a bit with those as well, but I don't like that as much because this is the fine point one, and you've got to be quite precise with it, and you don't want it to look too contrived. You want it to look a little bit soft. So I think it's probably better with the Memento, if at all. Alright, so I'm putting away my Delicata ink. Oh, I just put the lid on the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a sentiment. Now I've already taken the liberty of, I'm using copper foil for this, and I've already embossed my hello onto this. So I've used Versamark and black embossing powder to go straight onto the copper, and I'm just going to punch that out. I'm a little bit close to the edge, but oh well, we'll make it work. Just like that. And this can just go straight over this corner here. And the other thing I wanted to do to finish it off was use a little bit of linen thread. I've got an old style linen thread here. And this is the easiest way to do that, I think. I showed this on a Facebook Live video yesterday as well. Very similar. So I didn't use a punch yesterday though. I used a framelit instead of a punch for my word. So I'm just going to go over the back here, and I'm just going to wind this around a couple of times. About 3 is good. And I've got a second piece of some scissors, chop that off. Okay, and then my little hello can just go straight over there, and I might use a couple of dimensionals for that. Which side? Here on the end, and here again. Sorry about my bird going crazy in the background. He does that. Like that. So I'm putting the whole thing onto a piece of crumb cake cardstock, which I've just chopped in half and then half again, and this little piece here is just going to layer right on top of that. There we go. And then probably, I was going to use snail, but probably not. I'm going to use Tombow to put the whole thing down. I find this is an easy and cost-effective method of doing this. I'm actually up early. I thought I was up before the kids, but I can hear one of them out in the kitchen clattering around, which is sending the bird crazy. So it's a regular morning at our house. There we go, just like that. Very, very simple little card. As you can see, I used the punch here On this one I've used a framelit, so there's a couple of different ways you could go with that. But I think it's a great simple little card, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day, guys. Bye.